Ikale Tahi Tonga and Manu Samoa. Very evident from our pictures coming to you live and exclusive from Churchill Park in Lotoka, Fiji, wherever you are watching here in Fiji or around the world. Malo elele, malo lava soi fo.
Samoa! Ikale! Saugi ka koe kaua! Saugi ka koe kau! Kau ia koe kau! Saugi ka koe whai! Whai ama whai! Le Manu! Le Manu Samoa! Le Manu fight fight! Le Manu Samoa! Le Manu fight fight! Le Manu Samoa! Le Nemo so! Where's the Manu Atsuno? Whoa so le Manu Beato! Oh Manu Suato! E pata for so so is! Never let go!
The arrival of the Fiji and Drua, Moana Pacifica, Pacific Nations rugby, an increasing number of Pacific Island players that are in the professional leagues, both in the southern and northern hemisphere, has seen a growth and increase in intensity and competitiveness in recent years.
Yeah, well, most of these players have been in the locker room together and as teammates, and then today they get a chance to belt each other. And Graham Cooper in his 5th test match, 3 on the women's side, and he also was the referee when Tonga played the Cook Islands a couple of years ago. So great to see him with the experience here, and well, it's just great to be back, seeing Pacific Island rugby back on the international stage.
Jack Lamb, emotional and animated. So it will be Samoa to receive. Alva. Kicks the ball dead. So we will start on the halfway with a scrum.
Well, Tonga will be delighted with Big Ben Tamiafuna coming in to shore up that front row. They had a few problems last week against Fiji in this department, and so it's only taken 24 seconds before we get the first set piece of the game. And this is an area that Tonga have worked on all week.
Right foot and a good height.
C.
Inside.
Locking position for Tonga.
Close!
All eyes now
Fine!
front row and Tom Martini. Jordan Tahi with a left side. Tahi, but it's loose. Tahi now forced Go back to the 10-metre line to collect the ball. Samoa through Tuala.
Hold, stop.
Timi for Tahi. He puts the ball high.
Backwards.
Samoa from deep inside their own half. Martini. Alatua. Hit by Funa. Toma Tini puts the ball in the air. Faiva back in cover, secures the ball. Takalua, Funa, his big frame over the advantage line, and Takalua tries to get some field position. Wong, and now Danny Toala. Toma Tini, Taufua. Toma Tini staying alive. Able to keep the ball alive, Samoa, but the defence from Tonga too good.
Long passage of play, and this is a different Tongan team. There is Malakai Fekitoa looking on. Totally different Tonga team to what we saw 7 days ago, making their first up tackles, and it's come right across the board. Initially, from the scrum where they went left, it was Taumoi Piao and Whainganuku that belted a couple of the Samoans, driving them backwards. And then on that occasion, Taumafuna getting involved as well. And here's an opportunity to open the Ikale Tahi account for 2022. Beaten 36-0 last week, the 8th time that they haven't scored a point. And have a look at this. This is what you want from your team as defence, making first up tackles. Slade had no way of getting through that tackle of Polniati. And this will give them a lot of confidence.
Encouraging start for Ikale Tahi Tonga.
Yeah, you can see the reserves and experience of a guy like Fekitoa there, but James Cliver opening the account. They never took a shot at goal last week, and the crowd in red will be absolutely delighted with the first 4.5 minutes.
Timi. To Tabuki for Tonga. Tame Funa.
That's a really nice exit play, even though they didn't find touch, and that's what Fiver needs to work on. He's a bit inconsistent with his kicking game at times, as we saw at the start of the game where he just kicked it dead, and on that occasion not finding touch doesn't help his forwards. But I like the way that they took the kickoff and using Big Ben Tameafuna, 138 Ks, and all that experience as a first receiver has given them some front foot ball.
Talk about a game of centimetres. Looked like I wasn't going to find touch in the end, got the bounce. And look at the field position he has won for his team. James Faiva, given it's a penalty, they will get to throw at the line out as well. Big opportunity now for Tonga. They've got the power to drive. They've got the skill in the backs. First priority is to win this line out. They go long. And on the wraparound, Melee. They go the right side. They'll see carries. Now Pulanati. Strong run. Coming hard and straight. And Josh lose the ball, but they've direct. And until that era, very accurate with their go forward, Tonga.
What a difference 7 days can make.
Boys just got to make the last feet before they push up.
You can hear the ref just explaining to the Samoan captain about them getting back on side, but boy, they got around the corner a lot quicker than they did 7 days ago, and they started running some nice angles. Beautiful work from Poloniati. And the other thing I like about this Tongan team is Havili Talitui, that experience from the Crusaders. He comes in and he just likes to get the ball out of that line out, Fauno, and just wants to get the backs, and his forwards also running hard. And we know how big and strong these Tongans are once they carry the ball, and this offload here is a peach. Unlucky it couldn't go to Taumoepiao. We may have had the first try, but welcome the Kingdom of Tonga.
Two from two for over 6-0. Tonga after 8 minutes. And able to convert their position and field position into 6 points. Timu. Nice job. Tuitavuki, there wasn't an easy catch to make. Fakafonua, this time he lets it go. Takalua. So VAR going for field position. Tuala. Kicking from his 10-metre line, bounces it out just forward of the 22. That's a good gain from Danny Tuala.
Looking for field position here, and of the 9 meetings of these two countries in Fiji, Tonga have won 6, Samoa 3. That's about the only stat that Tonga were leading when you look through over the pride of these two countries, in particular Samoa, and how many games they've won in the last 5. There have been 4 when these two sides have met.
Siwa. Melee for Poloniati. Mele's joined at the back of the drive with a little bit of footwork on Alatoa. Get his team slightly better field position. Funa gets the ball and 2 Samoan defenders at the same time.
Behind.
Takalua. And Tuala. Back down the left edge, Tuala trying to find some space. Havili Talitui with the tackle. Tuala. Tomatiene with a big dummy. He's got a player coming on the inside. And how about that from Takalua?
Did he? Yeah, he regathered it.
Yeah,
Okay.
100%.
Takalua,
Correct. So go back
brilliant
to
piece of skill.
plain advantage.
It's a fine line.
Okay,
He doesn't
Captain,
regather that
come here.
ball. He's probably in the sin bin, and it's a penalty.
Okay,
Well, they're asking for the TMO, and there is no TMO.
he's regathered the ball. Okay, so it's not. We'll come back to the no one tackle by Red. Back here. I've got your mic.
Sam Lawisi, he's got to put a wrap on. He's got to show the intent that his arm's coming around. But there's the
Yeah, he
Tongan
regathered
captain
it before it hit the ground.
with a Superman-like act, because he knew that risk and reward, if you go for the intercept and you don't get it, you're in the bin.
By Red, no arm.
And Lawisi with that dangerous tackle, and this will just drive play a little bit further into the Tongan 22. Alatemu was convinced that there was a chance to go upstairs and ask the TMO.
back from the base. It's Takalua regathering the ball.
No ball, no ball. Yeah, we'll play this. Chris, as we discussed all the way up.
Ray Nuia. Samoa looking for Samuel Slade. He's jumping at the front of the line out. Tom Martini waits. Alatua moves the ball back. This is good progress from Manu Samoa. Now they're finally held up after a very good drive. Funa.
Stay on the line.
Tonga have got to be careful here with their discipline. You can hear the referee saying that they can't go across until the player is actually down on the ground. They won't send a player up here, Tonga, to defend. So their timing is going to have to be spot on. And with Jack Lamb in the boot of this, I don't think they'll be going too far past the forwards.
So again, Nuia for Slade with their first option. That's the drive. And great defence. Terrific defence from Tonga for City Hoi. A loose head prop with a big ball and all shot on Raymond Nuia to force him over the touchline.
Hey, let's get out of here first.
And win the throw at the line out for Tonga.
Let's get out of here first.
59% of the ball, 61% of territory, and they're losing. Takalua takes the ball in. City Hoi. Well, it was his tackle. That's going to give Tonga the opportunity to kick and improve their field position. And there's the end of the exit. Great job, Tonga. Very composed, under pressure.
And 3 takes for Poliniati. He really is reliable in that front of the line, and he's got hands like plates. They're massive. And his ability to just win the ball. And then, as you mentioned, Fisiihoi just takes it up because the captain Takalua was involved in the earlier ruck, and now there's the 20-minute break for water. Referee said we'll have that break when they get out of the 22, and nice crowd coming into the Toka Park. And you're so right, look at that. Samoa dominating all the territory, all the possession and time inside the opposition 22.
Which is further evidence, the old adage. It's not how much ball you've got, it's what you do with it. Whalongatana Umanga. Tom Coventry, part of the coaching staff for Manu Samoa. I'll be sending a message to Tana not to stretch my t-shirt he's wearing.
There he is, Poliniati, and also Takalua, 2 of the main players for Tonga in this opening 14 minutes as we look at the Tongan selection group with Totai Kefu on the far left, chewing the PK gum.
A couple of Pacifica legends, Totai Kefu and Tana Umanga, have done so much for rugby and the representation of the Pacific with their outstanding achievements at international level. And great to see Whalonga Tana alongside Seilala Mapasua.
Great work, boys. Great play on that. Outstanding.
Toala. A wonderful, memorable try from Moana Pacifica during their inaugural 2022 season in Super Rugby.
Fair point, yeah. Let's go. Step down, so you don't move. Just step down and get them on you.
Tonga putting on pressure on Samoa at the line-out. They won the last one, and Havili Talitui with a nice break, and there he is again, Poliniati.
Lua taking some easy meters on the middle of the line-out. Now Ben Tamifuna running straight at Slade. Gets some hard meters for Tonga. And now Fisioi.
Discipline.
Fituli Paia. The ball in the 22, and great job, Toala. Under pressure. It's an outstanding take. Two defenders raining down on him. And got the mark. Nice job, Toala.
Showed his class last week for not only in the air but putting players away. Nigel Afong was able to score a try because of that man getting on the outside of his defender. He is a quality player for sure, both on attack and defence.
World Cup winner, 60 tests, Super Rugby, success with the Reds, Utai Kifu, Sam Larcy with the take, and now Tonga direct through Paia, concedes a penalty at the breakdown.
That's just Jack Lamb making a nuisance of himself, their big body there in the presence of Tamai Piau. He had to move him, and he just came through the side entrance, which is illegal in rugby. Samoa just haven't been able to get into their game. They've been disrupted at lineouts. They're struggling to win ball in here. Oh, look at Tamai Piau, number 13. You can't come in from there. That's the wrong angle. Referee spot on, and he's having a good game, the Australian referee, Graham.
Ray Muir for Jordan Tofua. Wong. Tomatini gets the ball knocked down.
You're fine. Guys off your feet, throwing the ball. Shot.
I think this is a sign of respect from Samoa. The player, it was Maile, the hooker, who wasn't supporting his own body weight. The referee said Lausi was fine coming through and attacking the ball on that occasion, but Maile not supporting his body weight at the breakdown. And it really is, Tonga can take a bow here because this is a quality Samoan side. Instead of going for 5, possibly 7, they're going to take the 3.
Beautiful Samoa reopening on the 1st of August and blazoned on the front of the Manu Samoa jersey, so some free advertising for tourism.
Next job, pressure. Keep him there, boys. Nice bully. Pressure on this kick, Tonga, let's go. Pressure on the kick. Good chase, boys, good chase. Big chase, Tonga. Big chase, let's go. Let's get up there.
Playing group for Samoa. This Faivar goes long. Jordan Tahi, former Crusader. Very close to being an All Black before signing to go to the Northern Hemisphere. Jordan, wonderful back rower. Super Rugby multiple title winner. As Awong nicely in the air, but he's stripped of the ball. Tonga now on the counter attack. A little 2-on-1. Paia. Good run from Fetuli Paia. Now they come hard onto the ball. Tui Polotu. Tonga, the ball went back. Tukalua continues the drive. They're on a roll now, Tonga. Melee. 10 metres out in front of the post. 8 metres out. They're advancing their way towards the try line. They've got a penalty advantage. Now a change of direction. A long ball for Paia. What a try, Tonga. Beautifully set up. And brilliant skills at the end.
How appropriate that the pass would come from the man that started it way back inside their own 22. The flick ball out the back from Taumoipia was basketball-esque. It was just so beautiful, and all of a sudden they threw the wide passes. Pisiihoi knew that there was space out wide, gave it to Paia, who was involved on a couple of occasions. And have a look at this. From his centre to his second five. They were denied 3 tries last week, not today. And it's taken 100 minutes of rugby in 2022 for Tonga to get their first try, and it's a beauty.
Fetuli Paia. Beautifully set up, a show of skill and guile and confidence. James Faiva. And the villages of Nglia and Kotu. A professional player, but proudly representing his villages and his country today. Hooks it to the right.
Conversion unsuccessful, ladies and gentlemen. Tonga maintain their lead.
There's the end of it, and that's the money ball. Just cutting out 2 players, but getting it out wide. And Paia on debut, his first test, and that is a moment he will not forget. Thank you, Totai Kefo. I don't know what you've said during the week, but this is a totally different Tongan side.
Timu goes high and short, and the ball is secured by Manu Samoa. Tomatini for Tuala. Timu, short ball for Taufua. Good.
Boy, you just don't run down that channel. That's just a big mistake. He just loves the contact. Does the open side flanker. And just see what it means for this Tongan team. I knew that they were belted last week. They had to get up off the canvas, and they've done just that in the first 24 minutes. Boy, they are taking no prisoners this afternoon.
Well, if you're up for it, you're up for it. Up on the balls of your feet, lots of talking, lots of energy, lots of aggression, and you get rewarded. Tonga, great defence. Now see what Aile, he's got good options. He goes long. And Faiva in the end. Wasn't intended for him, but he wins it. Paia. Tavuki. And now Mele, the hooker, with a player coming on the inside, the captain, Takalua. Tavuki with the pick and go, takes another 6 metres off the Manu Samoa defence, and now Havili, Talitui. And again, they are rewarded for their effort and their energy, Tonga. Well, they spent the first 15, 20 minutes of this game on defence. No ball and no field position. They lead 11-3.
Inspirational captain Takalua and also Maile. That run down the sideline from a hookup was unbelievable. He knew he had his captain on the inside, and he has been involved in everything, Takalua. Getting over the ball earlier to give them the penalty after the tackle from Talitui. And then the referee just saying that Samoa coming through the side entrance, not through the gate. Great opportunity here with an attacking line out.
Front of the line out, that's a high percentage throw. They win their own line out comfortably. Now the drive. So Siwa Mele, the hooker's got the ball at the back of the drive. And they've got a penalty advantage against Samoa for deliberately collapsing the maul. 2 blows on the whistle. Which is usually not a good sign.
I just told the Samoan captain, Michael Ala at the top, you can't collapse, and the next one's going to the bin. Keep the foot on the throat here, Tonga. Go for the line out.
Right, scrum.
Boy, they've been so efficient in the line-out. I would have gone there again. They look like they were starting to get some momentum, and it also puts pressure on Samoa not to collapse it, which is another reason I would have gone back to the line-out, but they're back in their scrum here. And they'll send Tavuki up first. They like to get their wingers involved early in the set piece from a stable scrum. Let's see if they can do that.
Good. Let's go. Yeah, right. Come back on. Let's go, Jim. Yes,
Manu, how good has that Tongan front row been? You've mentioned Fisiihoi, Funu, and also Maile.
Keep working, Noah. Keep
Good
working.
support. Here, of course, the first double header, the home host country, Fiji. Play Australia A after this. Tonga. Outstanding field position. Good scrum from Tonga. Can they control the ball? Takalua, the captain, charging at the defence line. Sam Lau-C plays halfback, backing away. One lock to the other. Poloniati gets the second try for Tonga.
First try was the midfielders working together, Taumoipia with pay up. And on that occasion, Lau-C picked up and he saw the biggest winger in the world, his locking teammate, Vekoso Poloniati, just there. And he just hit, turned, spun, put it down. Second of the game for Tonga. Why go to a line-out when you've got a scrum that can do that much damage? And that's what gave them the position.
6'8", 130 kilograms. Hailing from the village of Fua'amotu, Vaikoso Poloniati. He received the ball from 6', 100 halfback, Willie. Sam Lau-C.
Wow, that's go back to the point of bringing in a guy like Ben Tamiafuna. 138 Ks on that tight head side is just some strength, and they just monstered the Manu Samoan scrum into submission. There was a penalty advantage there. Takalua breaks off, and then all of a sudden there's space out left. And Tonga get another.
James Fava, no mistake. Outstanding last year
Points to 3, ladies and gentlemen.
for Tonga. Look at this, one lock to another with a little pirouette. It's try number 2. Timi. Ball's gone forward off Tonga and collected by Ala Toa, the Manu Samoa captain. Now Tuala. Tomatini under pressure.
I haven't seen a better 30 minutes from a Tongan team in a number of years. Their commitment, in particular the first up tackles, is just frustrating the Samoans at the moment. Jack Lamb looking on. He knows they just need to retain possession. They need to go through at least 3 or 4 phases before they're going to find those gaps, and unfortunately just little errors like that
Let's go, guys. 1 to 1.
take the pressure valve off the Tongan team.
Covering glass.
Jack Lamb.
Timi, see on top of they're gonna duff it. They're gonna shift. What's your 9 down?
Another very good scrum controlled at the back by Tui Polotu. Tami Ifuna, he was on the verge of All Black selection himself. Ben Tami Ifuna, and a member of the successful Chiefs under the coaching of now Wallaby and then Chiefs coach Dave Rennie and Wayne Smith, who's now with the Black Ferns, before signing a very lucrative deal to play in France.
Tonga have made history as well. They needed 9 points to reach 1,000 in the Pacific Nations Cup, and they've done just that as well. So a great milestone for Tonga. He's hoping they can keep the pressure on. They've shown in the first 32 minutes.
That ball was sort of in the middle. Oh, times have changed, and they win the penalty. Very experienced and very successful Ala Toa. With the Crusaders for many seasons. Michael, and now Tonga to look for some better field position. 18 points to 3. The missed touch, a rare error. And now on the return, Manu.
Pressure!
To more Manu, Taufua. Now Danny Tuala with a little chip and chase, but it's secured on the ground by Fatuli Paia.
Basics again. As far as Tonga are concerned, they get a penalty and they don't find touch. It just allows Samoa to get back, and now nice field position. Real opportunity here for Manu Samoa to score points.
Raymond Chris Vuri at the back. Manu Samoa line out. That's Raymond Muir who's rejoined at the back as they drive. Now there's the 5 metre line. 3 minutes now. They're in the end goal finally. Some reward for their endeavour. It's been a long time coming. 34 minutes in fact before Nuia gets the first try for Manu Samoa.
Well, you throw it to one of your quality players and Chris Vuri out of the Bristol Bears club in the UK, where he's been an absolute monster in their premiership victories. Safe pair of hands at the front of the line out. He brings it down, and then the rest of the forwards aren't interested in anything else but driving forward. And Ray Niua is just terrific in that position, so hard to stop, and here they come.
In the villages of Saipipi and Sanapu, Raymond Nuia, in a very consistent performer at the elite level for a long time. Ray gets the job done. For Samoa, they really needed to be the team that scored next. H.A. Alatimu from Avao and Afenga. And the conversion is a good one, 18 points to 10 now.
I just take it back. Tonga had a chance to kick it out. 5R doesn't find touch again. That's the second time in the match. And all of a sudden they're deep inside their own 22. And a Manu Samoa side desperate to get their first try.
Good body position, good power. Sitting on the back of a Kinworthy truck. Raymond Muir as the big boys rolled forward. Alatimu.
Yeah, that's nice.
Now William Havili, younger brother of David, and Tonga very direct with their running, nice and aggressive carry. And now Tui Pulotu, he gets over the advantage line. Sam Lausi. Kalua now back down a short blind for Siwa Mele. Now Fisihoi, they get the ball away in the tackle. Tulipaia, not a lot of room, so just carries the ball forward. Recycles, but they concede a penalty. Jordan Taufua, animated.
Pumped, and so he should be. Boy, they were getting driven backwards on every occasion there, and he picked his moment. Taufua knew that he had every right to go in there and all rights to the ball.
You see that fierce competitive spirit in Taufua. A real reflection of elite athletes that put everything on the line. And it's Taufua, he's over the ball, had hands on it, he's pumped. This time at the front of the line out, Jack Lamb. Bounces off. Havili, there's a loose ball. Now it's been turned over. Whainganuku, Tima. Taumoi Peao plays halfback, and now Funa. Big, strong carry. How about that for a front rower? Now they've got numbers down the left edge, but William Havili couldn't get a clean grip on the ball. They were trying to play inventive rugby as well, Tonga. They hold on to that pass, they would have been in again. So here they are having a look down the left edge.
Yeah, and look, it was just Havili just needs the catch and pass. He tried to get it. The Tuipulotu, the big number 8. They had numbers to burn Tonga. Unfortunately, the ball's drifted forward. The referee says that's the first half.
2 tries to 1. It has been entertaining, intense and competitive, as they always are. Manu Samoa in the kingdom of Tonga. Very warm conditions here. Churchill Park in Lotoka. We'll get Australia A and Fiji to follow as the Ikale Tahi Tonga. What a half of rugby they have produced on the back end of a very challenging week for them, having been so disappointing last week in their loss to Fiji, and they have come back strong. And Samoa will take some hope out of that try at the end of the first half to keep them in touch. And a very, very impressive performance from Ikale, the Tahi Tonga. And they are enjoying it, 18 points to 10. Tonga over Samoa. Tuatavuki. Takulua. So inside their own half is Fakafonua. Kamatini looking for Raymond Nui again. Nice and direct at the Tongan defence. Timi with a cut-out ball in midfield, but the defence of Tonga is solid. Tomatini Alatimu. First touch in the game from Seuli. Good take in the air. Fakafonua, a blindside flanker. He did well initially.
Yeah, he did, getting back. And the ball just skirted out and hit his foot, and he tried to play at it. Fakafonua. Some changes as well. I think that clash earlier towards the end of the first half, rather, between Havili Talatui and Jack Lamb really took a toll because Talatui's gone. It looks like he's been replaced by Funaki, as you mentioned, and also Fotuaika is on in jersey 17 for Fisiihoi. This is where the ball just skirted out. You could see him playing the ball, and then he's just lost it there in the contact through the nice tackle from Formai. Right, you don't want to lose this guy, Danny Twilight. He's too valuable to this team. And Visanier is on. You were talking about him just before the break, and he's replaced Ed Fidel. Boy, I like this young man, Sione Tupulotu, for the Tongan team. Denied a try last week where they said it was double movement. Got a bit of reaction throughout the week as well. Fauna, people telling me that there was no way in the world of double movement for that. By the way, that's by the by. He's a great player with ball in hand. And he's a player that can step up in the next 35 minutes.
Siate, Tukolahi, Ben Tami Ifuna, representing the village of Pea, leaves the field, and what a contribution from Ben, and what a career he has and continues to have. Danny Tuala's going to try and run that ankle out. Oh, how to go shopping, brother.
This will be a real test for Tonga, the first scrum without Big Ben in there.
Tomatini. Fritz Lee at the back of the scrum. Now carries, offloads for Manu. Now Samoa hard at the Tongan line. Tuala loses the ball in a tackle but wins the penalty.
You got to take off your arm. Oh no, just the rules.
Raymond Nuia.
That's a hard call. I don't know what he's supposed to do. Toloniati, if he gets any lower, he's going to be tackling worms. Don't get that.
He's not happy with Glossa. He had a career with no arms in the tackles. The former Tongan captain is a bit irritated with his Samoan brothers.
He runs so low to the ground, doesn't he? Try scorer, Rainer Uia, and to try and get as low as he is, that's the problem. He scored a try just before the break from a similar position from a line out, and let's see if they go back to that same old formula. Chris Fui at the front.
Thrown to Samoa. Remember they had that drive at the end of the first half where they got a try, but they're slow getting their momentum going forward on this occasion. Now they start to advance. Still in control. He's come through the middle. Raymond Nuia. Powerful run. Just a metre short. And now Michael Curry on his back. Tom Martieni. He's got options. They're all forwards. Now Fritz Lee. Always tackled without the ball. He'll be sitting down for 10 minutes. Just timing and anticipation. Poloniati. I thought the referee was... Oh, he did reach for the card. Oh, that's tough. No arms. Penalty, which we thought was hard, and he just got his timing wrong. He was anticipating Tom Martini. Now watch Jonathan come in. And Samoa. Now they attempt this drive. It's lateral. It's still lateral. Now they go straight. Now they go direct. And now they're in the in goal, and he gets a second try. Raymond Nuia. 15 points to 10 with a conversion to come.
I've always said that rugby's a simple game and you don't change things that aren't broken. And their line-out really started to get going in that second half, and there he is, picks up a double here at Churchill Park in Lautoka. All the work's done in front of him though. Beautiful body position. They just decided they were just going to roll the sleeves up. Impact from the bench as well. They've got some new players on there, and they were just determined to just keep marching forward. They were taking Tongans out left, right and centre. And Ray Niuia bags a double, matches the number on the back of his shirt, and Samoa start the second half as they finish the first.
We'll also put into context the significance of Poloniati being sent to the bin. He's such a big defender. He was missing from that contest. And the Manu Samoa immediately making the right decision. Good leadership. And now AJ Alatimu. Can't get that ball to turn left.
They got quality, haven't they? They go to the bench and they bring on some quality players. Michael Curry, his first test match coming in because of the injury to Alamanda Motunga. And just the drive there. Everybody staying connected, everybody staying as eight. Michael Alalatoa, he knew they had to score next as well.
So that, not much time at all in the Samoa half in the second half. Tonga, as Fritz Lee carries direct. Tom Martini. Good defence from Tonga.
Stay on. Use it.
There's a little knock on there from Tom Martini, not called by the official. Timu, not much of an angle. That's an outstanding kick from Timu.
Tonga have got to go back to what was working for them in the first half. They've started to drift away from their strength, and that's a ball in hand. I know that James Fiver wanted to play percentage there, but they've had little ball in the second half. And they're much better with ball in hand and asking questions of Samoa as opposed to kicking it down to them.
This will give a set piece via a scrum. Frustration for Siwa. The ball drifts right down. Samoa scrums on the right hand side, they trail by 3. There's nothing in the score, and there's plenty of time on the clock. And for Tonga, who started so well, for Samoa have come back. Back-to-back tries from Raymond Nui either side of half-time. And he's still got just under 5 minutes pulling the ati on the bench, so the numerical advantage is what Samoa 15 on 14 for another 4.5 minutes. Martini with a short side play.
Trying to get out of it, trying to get out of it. Good boy. No pens, no pens, no pens. Go get him! Go get him!
Tolfua tackled by Kutueka. And Fitzlee in on the blind. Boys are warming up.
Yeah, we can see it's willing. And Takalua in particular, he don't mind the rough stuff. The Tongan captain tackles forwards in his sleep.
Keep the energy, keep the tempo. Come on, Manu, tempo.
Pull on the out is such a big line-out throw, winner for them as well, so that's where they missed them in that line-out. And this time in the bin is really starting to cost them some points here, possibly, with Samoa going back to that destructive line-out again.
Chris Vuru with a line-out win, and they're going to go, no surprise. They're going to try and line up a drive. Raymond Nui has got the ball at the back. They can't get any momentum going forward in spite of having a one-man advantage. But they're patient, Samoa. They try to hold. Now they go for Raymond Nui, looking for a hat trick, and there it is. If it's not broken, don't fix it, said Willie Losse. They have gone 3 from 3 with a line-out drive and Raymond Nui's name on the end of each drive.
Well, he worked it perfectly too. They started to splinter and he knew that he had to go because he didn't have the forwards in front of him, so he just broke free. Tonga had no defenders down that left-hand flank, and James Fiver up against the hooker. It's no contest. Baby against the heavyweight. Boy, it's been costly, this yellow card. And Samoa playing the rugby that we know that they're capable of.
And I'm thinking of my Balangi brother, Justin Marshall, down in Queenstown in New Zealand watching this. He'll be delighted. Balangi Visingia coming on in jersey 23 to replace Ed Fidel. Doesn't have to be pretty. Power, strength, and organisation the key to a line-out drive. Has worked perfectly for Samoa. They've come from 18-3 down to lead by 20 points to 18 with a conversion to come. Such has been the power and precision of their forward drives. Raymond Nuia, great job.
10 minutes in the bin has cost them 10 points on the scoreboard. And that's just lovely. Really great execution. He knew that there was just the first 5 defending the blind side, and there is what it means to this Samoan team. Poloniati, he's still got to wait another 90 seconds. He's trying to jump the gun. He can't go yet.
Tutai, Kefu, what a career in Australia. Tanu Umanga, the former All Black captain, 60 tests for Tutai Kefu, 73 for Whatlonga. Tana Umanga, and alongside him the highly respected Tom Coventry. A great forward coach, a man with the ability to deliver very direct messages.
Well, Tonga have got 27 minutes to get back into what gave them the lead in the first half of this game. I would have kept Tamafuna. I know that hindsight's a wonderful thing. No one's ever wrong in hindsight, but Tamafuna for me was what was holding them together in that first half, and I would have given them 10 minutes as opposed to 2 in the second half.
Fakafonua goes long on the restart. And now Fritz Lee. Another player who was close to an All Black career, Fritz Lee. Marka Fikatua on the left with it. Rule change allowing players to come back to their Pacific Island nations, use their status and profile. Pulling Ngāti coming back. So we now have 15 on 15, and as Willie Lossa has just alluded to, it was a very expensive 10 minutes for Vaikoso Poloniati to be away. Samuela Moli straight into work. Poloniati. Paya, a loose ball. Nice job in defence from Nigel Wong, putting pressure on the pass. Now to Kulua, they have to start again from behind the advantage line. Fortueka with the carry.
You want to kick that?
That's what I was saying. They just need to keep ball in hand. Tonga, Poloniati comes back and gets the first line out, and they work a nice move, but it goes behind. And great play from Tuatavuki as well to get back secure possession. And then the Samoans were offside, and so they're going to call the scrum here. I thought they may have had another look at the shot at posts, actually.
They can't get your boys giving away penalties, all right? Remember we had the chat first half?
Well, he's just saying to Michael Alatoa as well, you can't get down to this part of the field and then lose your discipline.
Maybe, depends how long it takes.
There you go. You don't want to risk temptation by doing something ill-disciplined, and yes, they will take a shot here.
James Faiva. They did not miss by much. Pensive look on Faces of the Tongan fans here at Churchill Park. 23 and a half left. Only 2 points separating. Timi. Head down, charge ahead. Inisi. Kalua tries to take some meters up the middle, but they shut him down as Fatuli Pai forced to go to acting halfback. Inisi. Little attacking kick. Timu. Nicely done under pressure.
All the way.
And Danny Tuala, first receiver. Havili. Danny Tuala trying to put that ball behind Faiva, and he's not able to. Now there's just a little battle for field position. Nalangi Visingia has to start from inside his own in goal.
Let's go.
Timu.
Lovely net gain from Tonga on that occasion. There's Manakai Whekitoa. He's delighted at that kick-in duel. Came a force back and 5 up, putting a nice angle on it that Visingia had to play at it once it went into the in-goal area. Some fresh replacements coming in again, but I like the injection of Lotu Anisi. His first touch of the ball, we were just charged in like the running of the Bulls. Like his attitude. And it's going to be interesting to see what impact this has. Great moment as well for Manu player coming on in jersey 22 for the captain.
Terrific job from Takulua. A really good field position, but they're not able to secure the ball cleanly, so they have to go back to Tavuki, and then they concede the penalty. Nice work over the ball from Lolangi Visingia.
What was he doing there was my first question. But obviously the ball was going backwards for Tonga, and he came off his wing to make the tackle and then acted as a loose forward. That's the beauty of the game now, regardless of the number on your back. If you're in that position and decision to do just that, that's lovely from the winger. This will just relieve pressure as well. Have a look at this. They're going backwards here, Tonga, and they always seem to give the ball to Tuitavuki in that situation. He goes straight to deck, and Malangi Visingia, easy as you like, out of the Kelston Boys High School first 15 many years ago.
Tom Martini under pressure gets the ball away, and now Visingia is over the advantage line for Manu Samoa. Now they move. Fritz Lee running in the midfield. Tom Martini looks down the right side, and the pass is not a good one. It's lost. Morley under pressure, and Tonga secure the ball. Now their chance to build some phases. Tonga, nice offload from Havili. Faiva for Tuitavuki. Oh, great skill from Tonga. Lovely offload, Puliniati. Now Tonga changed the point of attack. Havili. Paya Tomboy Piao with a little grubber kick along the ground. Tuala does well to beat the first defender. Runs directly at the second, requiring 2 more to come in and stop. It's a great return. Tuala. Now Alatimu. That ball is for Visingia. It's going to beat them all into touch.
Danny Tuala, you can see he stood up, wasn't happy with that decision. He's well and truly tested that left ankle. There's nothing wrong with it now. Running beautiful lines and beating defenders, as you mentioned. Good crowd starting to gather as well for the game to follow this. Another water break as well, not too far away for these two teams in these hot conditions. And this game is beautifully poised as far as I'm concerned. Tonga, if they can continue to hold on to the possession and chance their arm, I think they're in with a chance for sure. William Havili, for me, needs to get more involved. He's been at fullback and he hasn't done very much in this game, in my view. He's the type of guy that can open them up.
Really leaves the field, Raymond Nuia with a hat-trick off the back of 3 wonderful line-out drives. Will put his team from a long way behind to in front. And the atmosphere, the fun continues here at Churchill Park in Lautoka, wherever you're watching around the world. Binaka Vakalevu, thank you very much for tuning in. Of course, the home team, Fiji and Australia A, to follow. And we have 19 minutes and 6 seconds, 2 points to go, and 2 points only separating Manu Samoa and Ikale Tahi Tonga in what has been an enthralling game. Seilala Lamb from the villages of Mailea and Ngatavai joins the contest. Lolani Visingia's impact on the game since coming from the bench has been immediate. Now, Moli for Fakafonua. Faiva is trying to turn Samoa around. Visingia, who was a noted fullback himself. Faiva. Now Havili. Nidia for Mai. He's looking for field position. Faiva.
On the line is in. Yeah, no problem. But not in tennis, unless you're Whanau Ken Laban, who keeps calling them out.
I'm surprised I haven't won Wimbledon. Say Lala Lamb for Chris Vui at the back of the line out, and now the line break comes from Jordan Taufua. Offloads in the tackle. Well, the ball's loose, turned over. Poliniati's onto it quickly for Tonga. They've turned the ball over now. They shift, and what a read from Manu. He's going to canter in under the post. Good anticipation. And it looked like it was going to be against the run of play as Tonga mount the attack. And it is Tumua Manu who is gifted a try for the Manu Samoa.
Yeah, test debut as well. Take a bow. Congratulations. He just read it beautifully. And the man that's just come on the field, Sinesi Paio as well. It was a set play where they were going to use the back, an outside ball or a late ball. And he had no idea where the second pie from Samoa was. He turned because he had his back to him here, and he turned their pie up and just gifted it. And there was Manu. He couldn't believe it. He's looking around saying, is this real? Is this real time? Referee says, I haven't blown the whistle. and his teammates come to congratulate him on his first international try. Great awareness.
And it's under the post as well, so it's an easy conversion assignment for Alatimu.
Conversion successful, ladies and gentlemen. Samoa
Manu
27 points.
read it, anticipated it perfectly, and then picked out the pass. Samisi Paya from the village of Falelu, and more importantly, from wonderful Nongataha rugby in the heart of the Bay of Plenty. Kia ora. Out there in GC21 for Manu Samoa, replacing Taumatini. Faleali's kick has gone forward off Tuli Paya, and now on the counter attack, Nedia Fomai. Timu and Samoa with an attacking kick to turn the Tongan team around inside their own quarter. And not a lot that Whanganuku can do. Great kick, terrific chase. Ran the ball. Is it a 5-metre scrum?
Stay here! Stay here!
Or was it a drop kick?
We've been really good up until now, but all the replacements have come on, and they're starting to talk to me. Okay? Stop.
I'll adjust it.
Thanks.
Don't talk to the ref.
Well, not unless you're the captain.
Come on, back on.
He's getting plenty of assistance from Samoan players about what the ruling should be, and they've decided that it was actually on the line or just behind the line, so not carried back, hence the reason goal line dropout.
Well, it's a great dropout as well, 64 metres on the fly. Now Fritz Lee offloads for Manu, the try scorer, with a little show and go to more Manu. Sailala Lim. Faleali with a short ball. Samoa now enjoying some time with the ball. The captain, Ala Tor. Timu for Vui, running in the midfield, the lock. Timu put the ball along the ground, but it's secured by Tonga. And then it's loose for May. Onto the ball, secures it for Samoa. And they're inside their opponent's quarter.
Havili was there. William Havili all rights the ball after Formai had played a little bit of football or soccer with it along the carpet. Great defence from Tonga as well. They've still got time. They just need to make sure they can get some field position with possession. And they're certainly capable of scoring a couple of tries in the next 13 minutes.
Come on!
William Havili, Kolomatua and Sopu, the villages his family come from, and Tonga out of Nelson in New Zealand, younger brother of David. Havili, and their dad, Bill, was a wonderful first-class player in New Zealand, as well from Naki with a line-out win for Tonga. Manu Pai, the halfback. And the ball won by Samoa at a penalty advantage. Now this year with a tip on for Nigel Wong, trying to go inside the tackle of Tomoi Peao. Alatimu. And Theo McFarlane.
You going quick or
by
slow?
9. Take the 3.
Shot.
So they would lead by 12 and they get the ball back from the kickoff. So some logic in what they're doing.
Yeah, the right decision. And Tonga haven't scored a point in the second half. In fact, they haven't scored a point since the 28th minute of the first half. And they've just gone away from what was working earlier, and now the ill discipline starting to cost them. It's strange, the call when Tonga were driving with the ball in control and the referee said you can't pull it down, then all of a sudden it went to ground. Yes, Fakafonua coming in on the angle again a couple of times.
Yeah, but you can't come around. Yeah.
Great impact from the bench for Manu Samoa.
Alatimu can't convert the penalty, so 22 for a dropout. Tuitavuki from Kolomotua, Whalelau Anga and Nua Fo'u leaves the field after a very solid performance. And Otomaka Mausia from Haateiho and Longo Mapu. Now on the return, Samoa through D'Angelo Luila. Very good direct run from Uila. Fale Ali. Avili. So Alatimu from his 10-meter line puts it into the 22. Faiva.
Another water break, I think they're going to call here.
8 minutes on the clock, plenty of time for Tonga.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. A quick 1 minute water break before we continue with the remainder of the second half.
Coaches with a lot to think about. Say Lala Mapasua, the head coach of Manu Samoa. Tutai Kefu. There he is, Dan Cron, the scrum coach. Standing on the right of your screen behind Tutai. Say Lala Mapasua. I haven't seen Say Lala today.
They'll be happy with their second half. Samoa 17 unanswered points as their captain now comes from the field for the last 8 minutes. And Tonga just haven't really had an opportunity to score points.
Michael Alatoa, the captain. Good leadership from him to come from behind He put his team in a position now to close out the last 8 minutes. Michael Alatoa. Chris Vui is now the captain of Samoa. Sailala Lamb for Chris Vui. Now this Manu Samoa line-out drive, which has been such a powerhouse play for them today at Lautoka Park. Churchill Park here in Lautoka as they drive forward again, and Tonga not able to stop the drive. They're into the 22. What a performance from the Manu Samoa forward pack. All power, all energy, and well organised. And now an attacking kick, Liuila. He was looking for Wong.
Picked up a double last week in that victory against Australia, Wong, but hasn't had too many opportunities today. But that line-out drive from Manu Samoa is something to behold. It went to ground.
I don't know what the argument is.
By the blue, and now
down by a blue player.
That's what he's saying.
It's an option between the scrum and the 22.
So Tonga get the option of whether they take the scrum where the ball was taken to ground, or they start with the 22. Because of this kick here that just went dead. So the option is to have a scrum where the ball was kicked, or to have a 22. I'd always take the 22 myself.
Gotta chase this, guys! Gotta chase it!
So Havili restarts Tonga. And Samoa on the kick return, Faleali. Alatim. And he puts the ball in the air, keeps it outside the 22. Not much that Havili can do, so he's forced to go to ground with the ball. Now, Paya. Favourite son of Nongataha now, Samisi Paya, carries.
He's had a really good day, the Australian referee. Referee Graham, he hasn't missed a thing. And he's told the players who's in charge as well. He doesn't enjoy being yelled at. For Tonga on that occasion, they just haven't seen too much ball in the second half, and on that occasion, just losing the ball there. Molly. Into the contact they go. Samoa are there to turn it over, and that's where it's gone forward.
Say Lala Lamb.
No, let's get him going. No, let's pick it up.
With a tackle to force the error. And Samoa now with an attacking scrum in the middle of the park, about 26 metres out. Great field position. They can go left or right. We'll see if they've cooked up a set play from here. Tamoi Peao. Not a lot of opportunity for him in the second half. Fitzley in control at the back of the scrum. Faleali, they're going to go the right side. Timi. It's a short ball, and now they're a chance. But Nedia Fumai gets a ball above his head. Tonga go with the quick throw. Conscious of time. They need to chance their arm as the minutes tick away. 5 decoys in the long ball over the top from Havili. Sailala Lamb with the attempted tackle on Whanganuku. And now they come, big numbers from Samoa in defence. And aggressive and accurate. Pressure on Havili. And they drive over Samoa. The referee, is he in good position? The try has been awarded on the back end of great defence. Theo McFarlane, tackle after tackle. Aggressive, high, all completely legal. And they forced Tonga into errors. A great try.
Well, how appropriate, because he was the one man that made the tackle on Havili. where he rushed up out of the line, and Havili going backwards. The ball does strange things because of its oval shape, and he just stayed in the contest. Did Theo McFarland. His first test start, there he is with a massive tackle, putting the shot on. Then he gets to his feet and the ball pops up. Can't believe it. All power, all class, he's in.
Theo McFarland proudly representing the villages of Moa and Salilolonga. Really drives all our Pacifica players, their villages, their families, especially their parents and grandparents who they honour. We always see there with the emotion pre-game. And of course in their spirited performances, D'Angelo, Uela, who was a very big part of Waikato, coached by Samoan Ross Filippo, winning the NPC in 2021. Uela swings that ball around left to right. What a game for McFarland today.
Yeah, it's interesting because Tonga threw the ball in from the line out thinking that they had to play it because it was the last minute of the game. I think it was just someone sounding off their siren. And the confusion because there's still a few minutes to play, but no question about it. Theo McFarland made the tackle, got to his feet, got in a good position and scored the try, and that's not great from Tonga.
Well, they led at half-time by 18 points to 3. They were under pressure in the opening 10 minutes and through a lot of the first half. And from a long way behind, Samoa, disappointment and frustration from the Tongan team in 18-3. You would have expected them to go on with it, and they looked like they were going to do that. In 18-3 they led, and in 18-10 the score was at half-time, and they haven't scored a point since. And Samoa turning it on with 4 tries, 2 of them converted, and 3 line-out drives, an intercept. And then the Theo McFarland try was born of aggression, intensity, and competitive spirit in defence. Made the tackle, hunted the ball, got the reward. In a game that so easily could have been won by Tonga, but it was Samoa who would mount a comeback for the ages. From 15 points behind to lead 34-18 into the final minute of the game. Alatimu has been superb. Jonathan Taumatieni, before leaving the field, was terrific. Frustration and disappointment for Sonatane Tukulua on your screen, the captain. High expectations of their team. And Samoa taking their time with this final scrum. Totally within the rules. They run the clock down. Terrific performance from Jordan Tolfour, who started the game at number 8, now playing blindside flanker. And then Fritz Lee coming in.
Get with him!
Funaki. Hit ball and all by Seilala Lamb. They're looking to get something positive out of that. They're on the ball, Samoa. All rights to the ball. Nicely done from Michael Curry. And AJ Alatimu says that will do it. And a commanding performance from Manu Samoa after all of the early momentum was with the Kingdom of Tonga. Samoa 34, Tonga 18.
Take a bow, Samoa. Absolutely deserve it. It was the difference of the try by Niua in the first half and then the one straight after in the second half, and they went down to 14 players, and that took a little bit of the life out of this Ikale Tahi team. It cost them 10 points in the time that Poloniati was in the sin bin, and everything changed with the momentum, and now it'll be great to see what the reaction from Sonatani Takulua, the Tongan captain, is. He's downstairs.
Sonatane, a great first 40, but just couldn't quite finish it off there today, isn't it?
Yeah, first of all, I took a whawhetai ma whamaroi tamai vani, ane kei whawhoni vangi mautau ke whai vainga kone ahoni. Yeah, first 40 we came out, do what we've been training for this week, but obviously there's obviously two halves, but we couldn't get our set piece right at the second half.
Judging from last week's game as well, there were a lot of positives as well out of this one, isn't it?
Yeah, there was a positive from last week, and then we work on during the week for this this game against Samoa. Yeah, like I said, obviously there's two 40-minute half, but we couldn't just finish off at the end.
Finally, Australia A coming up in the last round of PNC.
Yeah, we got Australia A next week. We just got to go back and keep doing our homework and keep working toward next week in our qualified game. Thank you.
Well for us, our line-out drove, and that's something we backed for the whole game, and got some momentum back.
24 unanswered points in the second spell. What was the message from the coaching team at the halftime break?
Just to be in the moment, because when in that first 20 we were sort of had our heads in our hands. We're not we were dwelling on the mistakes that were made in the past. So, just to be in the moment and focus on what's in front of us. And when we did that, we played really well. So. And again, we went back to our set piece. That's what worked well for us. And around our mindset, we know that what Tonga's going to bring. I talked about that already. But we went up for it at the start. But credit to our boys to come back at the end.
Thank you, Michael. Block for the next one.
Gracious captains, Tani Takulua and Michael Alatoa. It's waiting on. All these stats reflect the way the game went in the end, Willie.
Well, it really did. Everything went Samoan's way in the second 40 minutes with territory possession, time in the opposition. And they missed just one tackle in the second 40 minutes of the game because they had 11 in the first half. And that just was the difference between these two sides. The errors were cut down. And as their outstanding captain said, they lived in the moment. They went back to what was working for them, and in particular the set piece.
Of course, what the stats don't tell you is that Tonga led at one stage 18 points to 3. And the effort, commitment of Manu Samoa under pressure to mount a comeback was the story underpinning this performance today from the Manu Samoa team. Tonga led 18-10 at half-time. And then it was all Samoa in the second half. Raymond Niua, a try at the end of the first half and then one at the beginning of the second.
This was Tonga. When they opened their account in the first half, they looked devastating. 12 minutes gone. It was Taumoi Piao out to his centre partner, Paia, and he scored the first of the match.
And they would get a second try as well. From one lock to another, Poloniati out on that left edge after some powerful work from the tight five to give them field position. It was two members of the tight five that put the cream on the cake.
Yeah, and then Samoa knew that the time was up in the first half. They went to the line out that worked so well for them. And Ray Nuia just used all his experience and staying behind that wonderful pack to open up their account as far as tries are concerned.
And that was the end of the first half. This is the beginning of the second. Raymond Nuia gets a double off the line out with a well-worked drive.
And Tonga went down to 14 players, and this is where it cost them. Nuia again, on this occasion, he peels off, and there's only James Fiver, the first 5 to defend him. Good luck. No chance. And he had bagged the hat-trick.
Three consecutive line-out drives, and the more conventional one, intercept, seemed to be the way of Samoa in the Pacific Nations in 2022. And today it was Tamua Manu who anticipated, read it, and picked the pass perfectly.
And on debut as well. Special moment to know that that's where the ball is going to go, out to the second-man player that's looping around. And look at him looking around. He couldn't believe it himself. He was in another stratosphere all by himself.
And then Theo McFarlane, who was all aggression, was throwing his weight around in the middle of the Tongan forwards. There's the tackle, up on his feet, balls on the ground, unprotected, good body position, too determined and too powerful. Theo McFarlane. A quality contest and thoroughly deserved win in the end. Manu Samoa 34 over the Tonga, 18 Australia A and Fiji to follow. But a perfect start for Samoa. Fiji 36-0 winners in game 1 against Tonga. And stay with us wherever you're watching, either here in Fiji or around the world. Fiji and Australia A to come. Well, we've enjoyed a wonderful game with a backdrop of culture and atmosphere that is always unique to the Pacific. On behalf of Willie Losse and the broadcast team from Fiji, bringing you these images and pictures wherever you are around the world. Vinaka Vakalevu, which is Fijian for thank you for watching, and we'll see you for Australia A and Fiji, which is up next.
ki heri kuna, sisi pepe langi langi ia. Polali a te putu ia, ko au te vita, ko tamayo iki a sihoba. Ka eke heri kia, ko kula ni me hina, ko losi ko ta ata a. Kore kore anda oe kofi a. Kore kore anda oe kofi a. Kore kore anda oe kofi a. Kamosi ke kapakau